There is a number I want you to sit with for a moment. In the United States, the average man lives to 73. The average woman lives to nearly 79. 6 years, 6 quiet years of mornings, of people you love, of everything you spent a lifetime building toward. Now, most people hear that and think they already know the reason. Men take risks. Men ignore their bodies. Men are reckless. And yes, those things are part of the story, but only a small part. The habits I'm going to share with you today are not dramatic. They are not extreme. They're ordinary. They're invisible. And that is exactly what makes them so dangerous. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor who governed Rome through war, plague, and personal loss, wrote in his private journal, "The first rule is to keep an untroubled spirit. The second is to look things in the face and know them for what they are." That is what we are going to do today. Look these things in the face, without fear, without judgment, just clarity. And here is something most people never expect. Alcohol does not even crack the top 4. It is number 5. The habits ranked above it are far more common, far more silent, and far more deadly. Let us begin. 1. Chronic loneliness. The first habit is one most men would never call a habit at all. It feels more like a circumstance, a season of life, something that just happened. It is loneliness. Not the loneliness of being alone on a Friday night, but the deeper kind. The kind where you are surrounded by people and still feel invisible. Where years pass and you realize there is no one you could truly call in a crisis. No one who really knows you. Research from Brigham Young University found that social isolation increases the risk of early death by roughly 26%, comparable to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Men are particularly at risk. Studies consistently show that after the age of 30, men's social circles shrink dramatically. Many men go years, sometimes decades, without a single deep friendship. We were not built for isolation. The human nervous system responds to loneliness the same way it responds to physical danger, with chronic stress, elevated cortisol, disrupted sleep, and weakened immunity. The Stoics understood this. Seneca wrote, "Retire into yourself as much as you can, but also receive into yourself those who will improve you, and let yourself go out to those whom you can improve." Connection is not weakness, it is survival. 2. Chronic sitting in silence about your health. The second habit is one men have been quietly praised for their entire lives: toughness, endurance, pushing through. But there's a version of that strength that kills people, and it looks like this: noticing something feels wrong and saying nothing. Studies show that men are significantly less likely than women to visit a doctor even when experiencing symptoms. They're more likely to downplay pain, delay diagnosis, and avoid routine screenings. The result, men are diagnosed with serious conditions, heart disease, diabetes, cancer, at later stages when outcomes are dramatically worse. This is not bravery. It is a quiet form of self-abandonment dressed up as strength. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." But there is a third truth he lived by. If something needs attention, give it attention. Now, not later. Watching your health is not fear, it is wisdom. 3. Chronic sleep deprivation. We live in a world that quietly glorifies exhaustion. The man who sleeps 4 hours and still shows up. The one who runs on coffee and willpower. But what that man is doing, without realizing it, is slowly dismantling his own body. Sleep is not rest. Sleep is repair. It is when the brain clears toxins, when the heart slows and recovers, when hormones reset, when memory consolidates. It is biological maintenance, and without it, every system in the body degrades. Consistent sleep deprivation, regularly getting under 6 hours, has been linked to higher rates of heart disease, diabetes, cancer, and shortened life expectancy. And yet most men never think of poor sleep as a habit. They think of it as just how things are. Too busy, too much on the mind, too wired to wind down. The Stoics spoke often of the examined life, but you cannot examine your life clearly when your mind is running on 3 hours of fractured rest. Clarity requires rest. Wisdom requires sleep. This is one of the most powerful and most overlooked changes a man can make.
4. Living without purpose. This one is harder to measure. It does not show up on a blood test. You cannot scan for it, but the research is there. Men who lack a sense of purpose, a reason to get up, a direction to move in, a contribution they feel called to make, die earlier. The data is consistent across multiple cultures and age groups. The Japanese call it ikigai, the reason you wake up in the morning. Research on communities with unusually high longevity, what scientists call blue zones, consistently shows that purpose is not a luxury, it is a biological necessity. Without it, stress increases, immune function declines, the body, quite literally, begins to let go. Marcus Aurelius faced this question more directly than most. He was the most powerful man in the world, surrounded by luxury and comfort, and he still asked himself every morning, what am I here to do? How should I use what I have been given? Purpose does not have to be grand. It does not have to change the world, but it has to be real. It has to be yours. The man who knows why he is alive outlives the man who never asked. 5. Alcohol. And here we are, number 5, the one you may have expected at number 1, alcohol. Yes, it is on the list, but by now you understand why it is not at the top. Alcohol is more visible, more discussed, more socially acknowledged as a problem when it becomes one. The habits above this one are invisible, and that invisibility is what makes them so much more dangerous for so many men. That said, the data is clear. Chronic alcohol use is directly linked to liver disease, heart disease, several forms of cancer, neurological decline, and shortened life expectancy, particularly in men, who drink more heavily and more frequently than women across almost every demographic studied. The Stoics did not condemn pleasure. They asked a simpler question: does this serve me, or does it rule me? That is the only question worth asking here. Not whether you drink, but whether your drinking is a choice or a habit you have stopped noticing. 5 habits. None of them dramatic, none of them extraordinary, but collectively, silently, they are stealing years from men who never saw it coming. Loneliness, silence about your health, sleep deprivation, a life without purpose, and yes, alcohol. Marcus Aurelius did not survive war and plague and loss because he was invincible. He survived because he paid attention, because he looked at things directly and asked what they really were. You have done that today, and that is not a small thing. If this conversation has stayed with you, share it with a man in your life, not because he needs to be lectured, but because 6 years is a long time, and the people who love him would like to have them. Thank you for being here. Take care of yourself. You are worth the effort.